Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tactical Friday. You heard from him this past Monday, and I am blessed to be bringing Donnie Boivin back to the show, and we're going to get a little bit more tactical about everything badass. Donnie, welcome, my friend.
Hey, thanks, brother. It was a fun conversation the other day, and I'm glad to be back hanging out with you, man. So let's have some fun.
Man, we are definitely going to have some fun. There's so many things we chopped up about from Growth Mode, your podcast, Success Champion Networking, from Fuck to Focus to the book, everything you have going. I'm excited about this piece, man. We talked about the Badass Business Summit. We talked about it's coming up in a couple weeks. I personally want to highlight this. This is not the normal summit. This is not the normal. You mentioned it. Take notes and then forget what the hell you wrote down, which is what a lot of people do. So I'm curious, man. I want to get tactical about what are people going to take away from this? What are the top couple things that you know that you're going to hit hard for these entrepreneurs and business owners? And then what can we expect going to the Badass Business Summit? And just give us a good rundown on that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So the entire focus of the summit is to help you grow and ultimately scale your business. And the way we structured the thing is there's four main lanes that we'll be focused on throughout the summit. So we're going to be focused on sales, marketing, operations, and mindset. And each one of the tracks that you can go down through the different sessions and the different speakers are to help you get dialed in very tactical in each one of these lanes. So some of the things you'll be doing is actually perfecting your sales process and building it right at the event. You'll be building out automation email campaigns with Kevin Snow, who's a freaking sales automation tactician and genius. You'll be working on your brand and actually building your brand positioning. S.A. Grant, who's one of the top podcasters in the world and one of the geniuses behind brand building, is going to walk you through your overall brand strategy for your company and help you get dialed into that. You got Ryan Kastner going to be there, who's one of the top sales trainers in the country, who's going to talk into how do you actually have the sales conversations without being the grease ball and build those processes out. Stevie Don Carter, who's one of the top speakers in the world, is going to focus very much on how to find your own internal inspiration and how to actually create that business so it's not a shitty job and it's actually a company for yourself. Just a tremendous amount. And then one of my favorite speakers is a guy by the name of Eric Rogel. And Eric is the dude's dude, man. This guy runs the Bold Men Foundation. And he takes men all over the world doing these huge adventures and retreats. Just a solid dude. He's going to really come in and talk about how to really show up as you and your authentic self in the world. And man, when that guy hits the stage, he just owns the stage. And then Pablo Gonzalez anchors this whole thing. He's our MC, and man, if you've never seen Pablo work a room, the dude's insane.
So he
So
was the big one I was going to call out because he's a mutual connection, mutual friend of ours. I know him from the podcasting world because he
yeah,
hit podcast success early and he
yeah,
hit it hard. My mentor introduced me to him many years ago, and Pablo, man, like you said, if you've never seen Pablo hustle, that dude can work a damn room. So like the fact that he's being a big part of it, I mean that's exciting for to hear about that piece of it. So it's going to be fun. Like that's what I'm taking away. You're going to learn, but this is going to be not a stuffy conference that you're just sitting around all day. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be fun. You're going to learn a lot of shit.
yeah, for sure. And one of the things I like is the speakers aren't flying in and flying out. The speakers are sitting in the crowd with you, right? So a lot of times you go to these events and the speakers are like protected. You can't get to them. No, our speakers are participants and speaking, right? So they're working on their businesses right alongside as they're teaching. And every night, there's an event happening. A funny story about Pablo is last year at the Badass Business Summit, he looked at me and goes, "Hey, there's a karaoke bar, closed. Do I care if I go through a karaoke party for everybody there?" And my sound guy, Gene Willman, who's a jarhead, goes, "You know what? I've got an entire freaking karaoke set up at the top in the conference room. Can we just set it up there?" And they went to my COO and they're like, "Do you care?" And then he's like, "No." And next thing you know, an entire fucking karaoke party breaks out, all because of Pablo's ass. But it was
Bro,
insane.
that's where I met Pablo in a fucking conference in Vegas, and we were at a damn karaoke bar. I swear to God, the group went to karaoke. Is like started dueling pianos, then it went to karaoke, and it's like, bro, that dude is a trip, but
Oh,
he's like the
insane.
party behind it all, man.
Oh,
So it just,
totally.
I was over here laughing. I'm like, this dude,
Well,
get everybody karaoke in.
and literally because of that moment, it's how he became the MC because he was just an attendee last year, And after that, I'm like, all right, fucker, come back, let's talk. And now he's the MC of the whole event. You know,
Man, I absolutely love that piece of it because it's going to be fun. I mean, Pablo's involved. It's a blast. It's something I can move to try to get out there myself. We haven't even talked about that piece, but I haven't been to Fort Worth much, but I have a couple clients out there. I'm going to multi-purpose a trip and try to make it out there myself. And especially because there's that interactive piece, right, with
yep.
me and Pablo, and knowing some people already heading that direction, man. I think it's going to be a blast, and it's one of those. Obviously, it's biz dev as a whole, and everybody could use that biz dev piece. But I noticed when we look at the agenda, you're involved in a lot of it. You're not just hosting, you're not just running, you're not just facilitating. I know when I throw in-person events, it can be kind of fucking crazy, right? To be also speaking almost every freaking day or multiple times a day, being engaged, it's a whole different level. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking on during the summit.
So for me, it's all going to be centered around building the business freedom. Of course, we have VIP, sessions and things as well, but a lot of it for me is people built a company or started a company because they wanted to hit some sort of personal freedom. And unfortunately, they end up just creating a really shitty job for themselves because they're doing all the things and they're building all the things. So, my entire focus is to get people to, personal freedom, which is teaching them how to show up as themselves, but also teaching them the processes, systems, and the things in place so that the business can ultimately function and operate without them. So they can get to that level of business freedom. So that'll be a lot of what I talk about. We are going to throw one change up into the roster, and Kevin Snow and I, who do the Growth Mode podcast, we're going to do a live podcast with crowd interaction, Q&A. So that's going to be a fucking blast
That'll
doing that.
be interesting. That'll be real. Depending on the crowd, careful.
Right.
You might get
So,
out some trouble. I
yeah,
love it,
yeah,
man.
we're gonna make sure the rum's not flowing prior to
Oh,
that.
bro. If I'm there, I'm already pre-game. Stop it.
Right,
We're
right,
already, I'm even going past in the flash. What are you talking about?
right.
No, but on a serious note, I love that piece of it. That's a move I made November, like just a few months ago, and all of 2020 was that move out of my own businesses into business coaching, facilitating
Yep,
masterminds, podcast, right, and getting very direct. That freedom that you're talking about, it has its downs, brother, because it is like launching a whole new business, right? Trying to
yep,
get more into this world. A lot of people don't see it that way. I'm like, man, I have all this other business success. I'll be good. Holy shit. Let me tell you the reality check, because I wasn't thinking. I had a business coach that pushed me to do it, and it was great. In fact, talking about that piece, processing everything, getting that set up, that's like the entrepreneur dream. And I want to
yep,
highlight that piece. Like, we all do it. We don't want to work in it necessarily forever, but we all start a business so that we have that quote unquote retirement plan, and we have that freedom, financial schedule, yada, yada, yada. And it's tough. So I love that you're highlighting that piece of it, because I think that's something a lot of people don't talk about. Like, how do you break away? How do you get
yep,
out of this, the rat race of your own? Now you're an employee of your own business. And that sucks when you're in that position. So
for
I
sure.
love that topic. Absolutely, man. Remind us, where can we find tickets? Where can we go for all the agenda, the book, the podcast? Give us all the links again.
Yeah, love it. So, and tickets are under $200 for the Badass Business Summit. So all this for 3 days. Yeah, hotel rooms are like $145 a night. We want to make sure everybody get there. But if you go to badassbusinesssummit.com, you can find all the speakers, the agenda, get your tickets, and get all the venue and stuff. And come hang out, man, because I'd love to meet a lot of you face to face. And a lot of the stuff you can find on DonnieBoivin.com as well. And same offer that I threw out, on our earlier podcast, man. If you go buy 10 Fuck to Focus books on Amazon, and you emailed me the receipt at Donnie@DonnieBoivin.com, I'll send you a link and give you an hour of my time to help work on your business and help work towards that business freedom.
I love that offer. That's something, bro. Because you said there is like $40, $50,
Yep.
something like that for that. I imagine that's a little bit less than your normal hourly rate for coaching,
Yeah, just
right?
a bit,
So
just a bit.
just a smidge, right? Just a smidge. So that's a hell of an offer, brother. I appreciate you sending that out to the audience. I'll make sure that link is in the show notes. Highly encourage everybody to go check that out. Check out the Badass Business Summit coming up. Donnie, it's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the bullshitting. It's been fun. Thank you for all your time, my friend.
Absolutely, brother. We're on our paths are going to keep crossing, man. I look forward to further conversations.